Hello everyone, this is your man Hypermagics. Today, we're going to talk about something that a lot of people have been asking me for a very long time. In this video, also in the few videos to follow, I am going to make a comprehensive guide and break down the Grimtooth build of the Assassin Cross in Ragnarok Origin. First, we'll start with the basics. For those starting and looking for a really good build for their Assassin Cross, and for those who are looking to switch to Grimtooth build, this video is for you. You see, once you start with this build, it may be a bit tricky to improve your damage and performance, especially in PvP or Guild War situations. I am advising you to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading more videos like weapon damage comparison, guides on how to be efficient in PvP, and more content to help you achieve the right playstyle for you in Ragnarok Origin. A lot of people would probably be recommending to go with either the Meteor Assault build or the Crit Dagger build, and that the Grimtooth build is only good for grinding and leveling. To be extremely honest, they cannot be more wrong. With the introduction of the R cores in the game, the Grimtooth build has become a viable option for the late game in both grinding and PvP. Personally, I really love this build because it uses the sneaky, long-range glass cannon playstyle of an assassin. For me, this combines the area of effect high damage of a Meteor Assault, the high attack speed critical strike of a Crit Dagger build, and the range of a Soul Destroyer build. This build is so annoying and so sneaky that this is a real menace when it comes to PvP. Now, let me first show you the bare scores that actually made this build so overpowered. Ghost Dance is the most essential core you will be needing. Without this, I'm afraid you cannot attain this build. The reason why this is so important because it does three things. 1. It allows you to use Grimtooth even without the hiding state. 2. If you use Grimtooth without hiding, it will automatically put you in the hiding state. And 3. It allows Grimtooth to do critical damage based on your crit rate. Another good core that you want to have is the Shield of Holy Light. This allows you to have a shield that will reduce incoming damage, and while the shield is up, you would receive a 10% increase in damage. There are two cores that can dramatically increase your Grimtooth damage, and that's Bayujin and Assassin's Attitude. Bayujin can increase your skill damage by 5 to 50%, while Assassin's Attitude increases your Grimtooth damage by 150%. If you still have space for additional cores, you can opt to use the slot for switching cores depending on the situation. If I need to use Enchant Poison in grinding or MVP, I usually switch to either Poison Research or Dangerous Hobbies. If I need additional damage, I can switch to Prerequisite, Confirmed Kill, or Magic Power Efficiency. My default third core in PvP is Iterative Learning. This allows me to make a trade-off in attack speed in order to increase my damage, as this core can still put me in the maximum attack speed when I'm using it. Now, let's move on to the weapons. There are two Katars that you can take a look at. If you want to maximize your damage output, you can use a Brutal Katar. This weapon gives a damage boost of up to 56% physical damage and 14% critical damage. Just take note that when using this Katar, your target must be in an abnormal state first before the damage bonus takes effect. You can use Venom Dust or Enchant Poison to inflict a poison status to your target and increase your damage. Another issue that I have with this weapon is that it does not give any crit rate bonus. Because of this, Brutal Katar becomes less viable in PvP unless you can offset it with a high sharp or crit rate enchants. The best weapon for me is the Loki Snail. This Katar gives a balance of crit damage and crit rate bonuses, as it gives a 19 crit rate bonus and 22% critical damage increase. And when attacking, it has a 10% chance to cast a buff called Loki Scourge, which gives an additional 15% attack speed bonus, 10 crit rate, and 24% critical damage for 3 seconds. I'm planning to upload another video to compare both of these weapons, so stay tuned for that. Now for the armor set. You would want to maximize your damage output because of the glass cannon nature of this build, so I'm suggesting to go with the tier set and maximize your strength attribute. Aside from tier set, you can also take a look at Magic Flow and White Wing set. For me, each armor has its own respective benefit for this build. I will be discussing this in more detail in another video, so please stay tuned for this as well. For the accessories, I would recommend to get the Valkyrie Honor set. This consists of the level 105 Sigrepa medal and wings. This gives a couple of physical attack boosts, but the really good thing about this is the Valkyrie Honor buff that gives stackable damage bonus of up to 16% for the 1-slot medal and 20% for the 2-slot medal. For costumes, if you can afford a mythical set like the Albit set, make sure to get it as it gives you a decent amount of bonuses. For linkage, you would want to have a Pharaoh helmet for the headgear to maximize your damage output. For face, you can look at cat ear goggles for PvP and clear goggles for grinding. For mouth, you can stick with a captain's pipe. For costume, you can use a colorful watermelon in PvP for a balance of additional demi-human bonus damage and incoming damage reduction. And private detective in grinding to maximize damage bonus for medium monsters. Lastly, for wings, you can use the pouring surfboard to maximize physical and critical damage. Now let's move on to the cards that you will be using for your equipment. For the headgear, you would want to use something like the Devruchi card to add additional strength. For armor, I suggest to go something with an HP increase like the Peko Peko, Puff Duffel, or if you can, Angelin will be the best for PvP. For garment, the best for me is the Vagabond card as it maximizes the damage output, but Baphomet Jr. is also a good alternative as it gives Agi and crit rate bonuses. Raedric and Orc Baby will also be a viable option to improve neutral damage resistance. For shoes, go with Alarm card as it gives bonus HP and Vit and an autocast of Side Thrasher which will push back attacking enemies and will give you the proper distance from them. For weapon, just stick with Hydra and Skellworker for PvP and a balance of racial cards for grinding. For accessories, always have a Horum card for PvP and also get Kobold cards to increase your crit rate. If you can get an Owl Baron card, that would be really good for this build. For skills, obviously you will need a max level of Grimtooth. Also max out Increased Dodge, Enchant Poison, Enchant Deadly Poison, Kator Mastery and Advanced Kator Mastery, Fix Weakness, Hiding and Hiding Research, Backslide, and Backslide Hiding. You can also max out Venom Dust and Dodge Shield, which are both beneficial for both PvP and grinding. For stats, I tend to leave out Dex as all my damage bonuses are mostly critical damage. I just make sure that I really have a high crit rate so I won't miss. If you plan to do the same thing, make sure that your crit rate is higher than 200 as most opponents would have 100 plus crit protection. This allows you to maintain your critical damage constantly. Always max out Strength and Agi to have the highest damage output and highest attack speed possible. Add enough luck to reach a 200 crit rate. And put all in Vit. That's the formula that works best for me. There are a lot of other ways to increase your physical attack that I will not discuss in detail in this video, but I know is worth mentioning so you will know where to invest your resources. Medal of Brilliance, Mount bonuses, Card Collection, and Pets give you the most physical attack bonuses. Costume Collection, Monster Research, Mount Collection, and even Achievement can also give you a boost. Also, make sure to always get your Guild Imperium buff. Unlike Refining, where you are not sure whether or not it will succeed or fail, investing on these are surefire ways to increase your physical attack, so you might consider prioritizing this. To be completely honest, this build's playstyle is so much closer to a sniper rather than an assassin because of the range that your character has. The best thing about this build for me is you get to deliver high damaging attacks from a distance while you are hidden. This gives any opponent a really hard time to catch you. In a group battle, you almost always get the MVP of the match because you almost always get the most kills and least deaths. So will this be your next build for your Assassin Cross? If you have any questions or you want to share your progress with this build, please let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to make sure you are updated with all the Ragnarok Origin content that I will be posting in my channel. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.